Greetings and welcome to Spirit Knocks to Brooklyn Mosaic. So we are moving on to part 3 of our graffiti memorial. We stopped with, I believe it was, I was talking about the brothers, I'm assuming they were brothers, that shared a birthday with me. We moved on to a person who had a collision with a train in Australia that was age 16. We want to honor him. And now we're moving on the other side of the world to Portugal. Right? A person died when they were walking alongside train lines in an underground train tunnel and fell onto a live third rail and received an electric shock. They were found lying on a track with a can of paint next to them. We honor you. 21 years old. September 17th, 2003, in the U.S., collision with a train, died at the age of 24. A person died when they underneath a bridge and a passing train collided with them. Fresh graffiti was found underneath the bridge, and a backpack with spray paint cans was close to that person's body. We honor you, age 24, in the States. February 1st, 2005, Canada, collision with a train, died, age 18. A person died when a passing train collided with them. And prior to the collision, they had been spray painting a tag on the outside of a stationary freight carriage. What's interesting is they have some codes, some like reference numbers here. When I finish doing these memorials, this memorial, I want to go back and click on those codes to see if they show any of their artwork, because that would have been a real way to honor, right? When people sacrifice their lives, is the work recorded? Do we remember the work? And if we don't, how do we find a way outside of what I'm doing to honor these people, right? So we're going to go to Canada now. February 1st, 2005, in Canada, collision with the train, died at the age of 18. So we have a person died when a passing train collided with them, and prior to the collision, they have been spray painting a tag on outside of a stationary freight carriage. 21st of June, 2005. In France, electric shock, died at the age of 20. A person began spray painting a wagon in the Paris metro and had been able to walk on the live third rail without receiving an electric shock. Railway workers maintaining the track nearby had turned off the electric current and then reconnected it. Once they finished work, he then began to leave the railway tracks and dropped an object that he then went back to pick up. And while doing so, lost his balance, fell on the third rail, and received an electric shock and was killed. It sounds like, there was an angel protecting him, right? Or safety in place. But the brother didn't even realize, he probably didn't even identify the railway track as being live or that it had been activated. So we want to honor that brother from Canada, age 18, that I mentioned before. We want to honor this brother, age 20, in France. And now we're going to the UK. A person died when they had been on a railway line and an express train passing through collided with them. It is speculated they had been on a track in relation to writing graffiti on trains. This individual was age 17, collision with the train, UK. That was December 2005. Now we have January 5th, 2007, in the U.S., collision with the train, died, age 13. A teenager was writing tags on signal boxes close to railway tracks. When they began to leave the area they were tagging, they were going across a row of multiple railway tracks when they collided with the train going 45 miles per hour, and they died. It is speculated that a second train that had been traveling down the tracks had obstructed their view of the train that they collided with. We honor this young brother, age 13, from the U.S. This nun is from the U.S. as well. May 16th, 2007, U.S., electric shock, died, 18. A person was sitting on top of an electrical transformer inside an electricity substation, spraying graffiti when an electric arc struck them. They received burns and injuries to most of their body, and they died in the hospital 2 days later. Age 18, we honor you. In 2008 in the US, collision with car, died. They don't have an age. A person died when they were attempting to spray paint a median area and a car collided with them. Blessings. We honor you. 20th of January 2008 in Australia, drowning, died, age 21 and 25. Two people were inside a stormwater drain spraying graffiti on the side of it when it began raining heavily. A sudden increase in water in the drain swept them a kilometer down the drain and both people drowned. I'm so sorry to hear this. 21 and 25. I'm just, my heart goes out to all of them. But when you think about the passion that it takes to risk your life like that, like if you are an artist, you get it. You know, like you will go through lengths to get your message out, to put it where no one else has, to have that creativity shared. And especially when you don't even know you are being driven by the divine to relay these messages, because what you feel like you have to say is so important, right? So I'm just feeling this right now, I really am, and I hope you all are feeling it as well. We're at 6 minutes, so I'm going to keep going. That was two people, 21 and 25 in Australia. We send blessings to these brothers. I'm assuming they are men. April 13th, 2008, Australia, a fall, injured. A 14-year-old had been spraying graffiti on the side of a building, and they were walking over a fiberglass roof when it collapsed, and they fell 6 meters to the ground. I don't know the metra, 6 meters to the ground. I'm assuming that's more than 6 feet, okay? And they received severe facial injuries, broken teeth, a broken jaw, fractures to their legs, and fractures to their wrists. I'm thinking these meters might be like miles for us. I'm imagining this was this is a serious fall. I repeat, severe facial injuries, broken teeth, a broken jaw, fractures to their legs, and a fractured wrist. 14. This young brother here, when I tell you the fact that you survived that fall, I'm assuming you survived the fall because it says injured, and that was in 2008. So I do hope this brother is a walking ancestor at this point. May 2008, UK, a fall, injured, 24. While graffiti tagging, a person fell from a multi-story building and received head and internal injuries and a broken back. We honor you. 21st of June, 2008, US, fall, injured. There's no age. It was speculated that a person was spraying graffiti on an overpass when they fell onto a freeway. They were clutching a can of spray paint and they lay on the freeway. It is thought that they may have broken their back in the fall and they were taken to a hospital for treatment. There's no age listed here. Okay, we're going to October 10th of 2008 in Germany. Collision with a train, died, age 31. A person died and it was speculated that they were spraying graffiti on a bridge and a collision with a train occurred. We honor you in Germany. I don't know who this is, but so far this has been one of our older ancestors. So he's probably been tagging along. He was tagging a long time, right, and committed. January 20th, 2009 in the Netherlands, collision with a train, died and injured 17 and 18. A 17-year-old and an 18-year-old collided with a train. It is speculated that the two were painting a wall with graffiti as spray paint cans were found laying next to the railway line. The 17-year-old was killed when the train collided with him, and the 18-year-old received serious injuries. We honor you. So one died and one was injured. I hope that the survivors tell their stories, that they tell the stories of the love that they had for their art and of the friends that they lost, because only they know the real stories of who died, who was attacked, who, didn't make it, who could still be around and tell the story. I'm just, reading what I saw and I thought needed to be known. We are going to wrap up here because we're going on 10 minutes, and there's going to be another section where we honor our graffiti artists for this memorial. I want to thank you for following along this far, and you are always welcome to Spirit Knox for Brooklyn Mosaic. Blessings.